It's late October, and extreme pursuits Mark Kayser and good friend Bill Miller are feverishly combing the Powder River breaks of eastern Montana in search of rutting bucks.
This area is deer rich, and one of the reasons why is it's big cattle country. And with cattle comes a lot of agriculture, hay ground, and also some small grain production. You mix that all together in an area with great habitat, rough river breaks, and you get some super densities of both mule deer, which the area is well noted for, and on the river and creek bottoms, whitetail.
I can't think of another place I've ever hunted where you see as many deer in one place at one time. Out here in the afternoons, when the deer start coming out from the river bottoms and down from the hills to the alfalfa fields to feed, you're seeing 100 deer or more in one field. And it's a mix of mule deer and whitetail. It's an incredible smorgasbord because your license is good for either one.
What usually happens is these deer are coming out of this back timber or even across the river, right, Miles?
Yep.
And then they're focusing on these alfalfa fields. So this is a great spot. It's kind of like the meeting spot. All directions, deer coming out of the hills, deer coming from the oxbows behind, the sides. They're all right there. When we crawled up the bank, and it took us a little bit of scurrying, a little bit of belly crawling, popped up right away. I mean right away. We both spotted
a nice, old, gnarly horned 5x5 whitetail, the kind of deer I just love. Lots of character, good mature buck.
Miles and I both ranged that buck. We came up with the range of around 300 yards. It was perfect for Bill's TC 300 Win Mag.
To make a shot like that, I needed a solid rest. Well, the culvert that's up on top of that levee to carry that irrigation water couldn't have been better. Perfect kneeling height, so I laid down a coat, threw my glove on top of that, settled in behind the scope, took a deep breath, squeezed the shot. I think he's a pretty good buck.
That's a great looking whitetail.
And I had my Powder River whitetail, something I've dreamed of since the first time I saw the footage that Mark brought back. Whoa, look, I don't know if the color of his face means anything, but look, that is an old deer.
That is a pretty Powder River whitetail.
I'm happy.
It was a great ending for my guest, Bill, to get his buck before me. Hey, he did get it rattling, but on some hunts, you gotta take them any way you can. With Bill's buck down, you guessed it, whose turn was it? It's mine. So the pressure was on. And you know, sometimes I like to even put a little more pressure on. So instead of pulling out my TC Pro Hunter, I pulled out the Triumph muzzleloader. In Montana, you can use any legal weapon during the firearm season. And I just thought, I want to try and get a mule deer with my muzzleloader, and this was definitely the place to do it in a game-rich environment. You know, today's new muzzleloaders, they shoot almost like centerfire rifles, but it takes a little work to figure out the right load. Now, the big thing about figuring out the right load is to make sure how old your muzzleloader is, because some of the older muzzleloaders just don't have the tolerances in their strength of their barrel to take some of these new hotter loads. For instance, I'm shooting the Hornady FPP bullet today in a 300 grain load. Now with 2 pellets, it's shooting at 1,700 feet per second right out of the muzzle, more than 1,900 foot-pounds of energy. If I bump that up to 3 pellets, I'm at over 2,000 feet per second and 2,700 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. Now, how do I figure out which load is best for my TC Triumph here? Hey, go right to the manual. Use manual information right from TC or Hornady and cross-reference the two. Now, you can get some stuff off the internet, but man, forget about that chat room stuff. You don't know what's real and what's not on those chat rooms. Stick with the manufacturer information. That's what's best. Now, why is it important to know your foot-pounds of energy and how fast that bullet's traveling? Well, to kill a deer-sized animal, you should be in the neighborhood of 1,000 foot-pounds of energy. You can go a little less, a little more, but that's about how much you need to kill a deer-sized animal. And these bullets right here, the FPV bullet, they are built to perform at speeds from 800 to 2,000 feet per second. It'll expand just right and still knock an animal down. And another unique feature about this bullet that I really like is just the fact that you don't need a plastic skirt to load it. Its copper jacket and low profile means it slides right down the barrel with just an easy push. And if there's one thing about Mark Kayser you gotta know, I don't like skirts.
Extreme Pursuits is brought to you by Polaris. See the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles now at your local dealer. Hunter's Specialties, for sportsmen, by sportsmen. Real Avid, true to the core. Nikon, the trusted name in optics. Truck Vault, manufacturers of the world's finest in vehicle secure storage systems. And by these other fine sponsors.